Hello, friends. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today, I'll talk about India-China conflict, and I will have a small analysis why China is trying to infiltrate in some part of India time and again, and why China is choosing a different part of India to infiltrate. So, I have my own analysis around that. So, first we have to look why China did it in Doklam, which is again the Thai. I mean, Indian and Bhutanese government has some agreement to help each other around that, and in Doklam, which is part of Bhutan, and they tried to infiltrate in that region. Post that, China did it in Galwan region, wherein there was, s- although a single bullet was not fired, but there was some skirmishes and showing and throwing and pushing, and then you know they actually there was a conflict happened in June 2020, where some of Indian soldiers martyred, and there are a lot of Chinese soldiers killed, right? And after that, the incident happened again in Taiwan region of Arunachal Pradesh in India, and in 9th of December, I have already created one video on that. So in the I button, you will see that video around that. So why China is doing it time and again? First, we have to look and why China is choosing different places altogether. And maybe next time around, it could be Uttarakhand, right? In Uttarakhand region. So when I'll be making a video when they will try to infiltrate in Uttarakhand. So why China is doing this? One reason, the first reason why China is actually choosing a different place altogether, because China wants India to engage in entire area, right? Not only one area where India can have a strong position. If you look at uh, in in uh, in this region, Galwan, so India has post that incident which took place in 2020 June 2020. So India have ramped up the infrastructure development, highways and everything. So government is actually keeping in mind, and even when Rafale aircraft procured in India. So some of the Rafale squadron are actually in that region, keeping an eye on that, right? So a lot of uh, there are a lot of aircraft. They actually took the shortage in those areas. So China now wants to divert India attention towards other region like Galwan and Arunachal Pradesh, and then maybe in Uttarakhand. So that is separate one. So why China is doing it time and again? First, we have to understand the this thing. First of all, COVID. So as you can see uh, in the graphics, so there are a couple of wave which actually uh, driven of driven away China's policies, and also driven away companies from China's, right? So Apple is one such example. I've created that video, and there are many. They are in pipeline, and even Japan is actually uh, giving incentives to the companies to, if they withdraw their assemblies or their setup from out of China. And the second reason is because China is more frustrated because of COVID and everything, right? So they want to divert their public attention from actual region to the different region, artificial region, right? So because there has been some sort of incident when the Chinese people actually protested against zero COVID policy, because the companies are not actually working on full capacities. People are in lockdown, and there are a lot of problem happening in the country, right? And because of that, China wanted to divert their attention towards India. So okay, India is doing this thing. India recently had Indian armed forces and American armed forces as some sort of in Uttarakhand they did this some exercise, right? So China wanted to actually draw their attention towards India, right? So we have threat from India and this and that, right? So because of that, China's policy is towards, and the second is China is more frustrated with Quad alliance, right? Might be thinking of and the world was my world was thinking of unipolar geopolitics political situation when most of the country will have the maybe non-alignment and alignment with USA, because USA seems to be one of the powerful country. So now, since China's actually influence increased over the last 2 decades, so China wanted to actually have that bipolar geopolitical theory again. Some countries, because USSR, I mean, the Russia has become weaker in terms of financial, in terms of military and everything, and China emerged suddenly. So China can see USA its opponent and bipolar world, wherein some of the country will align with United States and some of them will align with China, right? So if you look at few countries like North Korea and Pakistan, Iran and Russia, they have the alignment, and the US, India, and other country, entire Europe has one. So there is a bipolar, right? So China wanted to have an influence on that, and that is actually leading China's imperial ambitions to expand China, right? And there is one growing threat for China is one China policies. So what is one China policy? That means most of the world is seeing alternative to China. Most of the world is seeing alternative to China. The reason being why, so most of the country are, after COVID pandemic broke out, most of the world is seeing one China policies, because there was a restriction around China supply chain during pandemic when it first broke out in Wuhan province of China. So, and then world was seeing some sort of, you know, so world was heavily rely on China's supply chain. So because of disruption during COVID, so the entire world was seeing some alternative to China and diversify the supply chain. And that is actually, uh, China is not digesting that, because if most of the assemblies, most of the supply chain companies will go out of the China, so China's factory will collapse, right? China's economic ambitions will actually have a pause. So because of that, China does not want to have that, and that is why China is having this policy to actually, the countries are under Chinese control because of Chinese debt. They are under Chinese debt, right? So they actually got trapped into Chinese debt, and then they have the. So that is why China is some imperial CPAC is one such project. China is actually that is underway, and there is a Silk Road. China Silk Road project is also underway. So China has actually China has seen some sort of China wanted to have uh, you know mm, to overpower the world, but due to this coronavirus thing, and which took place, and due to India's growing influence in the region, and India's growing economy, China is not actually the di- actually digesting. So I mean, when we talk about unipolar world and bipolar world, so again, China does not want US interference in the region, right? And that is why China is doing it time and again. In conclusion, I would like to say only one or two things. The first is, uh, China's growing power in the region, and China has actually built huge infrastructure in along the actual line of control, right? And if you look at uh, Taiwan, so in conclusion, I would like to say few things. One is India has to ramp up its military hardwares and military equipment, like aircraft, fifth generation aircraft. One is MCA. They are working on that. That is underway. And India has Navy has got few capabilities, which is good, and India should actually mm, increase its influence in the region. And plus, India already has close ties with both the countries, Russia and America, which is a good thing for India, I believe. And the third is we should focus on the economy, how we can leverage our economy to increase our defense project and increase our uh, production. So, although China will not digest this, but this will increase our influence in the region, as well as will emerge as a growing economy. With along with growing economy, we will have a stronger military power. So that will be absolutely beneficial for India. So China will do it time and again now. I mean, they did in Doklam, in Galwan, in Taiwan, in Tawang, and now in maybe in Uttarakhand. So they will do it, but we have to actually make our strong infrastructure. We should include some technology in our military, so that we can leverage the technology. Like drone is one such technology wherein we can capture everything. So I think that is good for us, and we can, I mean, in these very if you look at uh, Tibet region is very the it is a tough terrain, right? Tibet ke Pathar, right? So Chinese aircraft cannot actually make a sortie along those regions, because they don't have that much of, the range is not that much, right? So they can't do that. So I think India can leverage that opportunity. India has a geographically, India has an upper hand, right? So we should not be afraid of China, and we should build our capabilities. That's all. Thank you. So guys, yeah, thanks for watching this video, and please, if you like this video, so please subscribe my video, and like click on like button, and put your comment on in the comment box. Thank you.